Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another SLG Meetup. I'm very excited about this conversation today because we're going to be getting deep into the inspirational elements of what makes you overcome all the challenges. We're going to have the one and only Sean Swarner. He's a 2-time cancer survivor. He's a philanthropist, keynote and author, climber of the Everest, 7 summits, trekking, S&M poles. He has done the Hawaii Ironman, which, by the way, I'm trying to do that. And he has also come up with his documentary, The True North. So he's an inspiration, and he's going to be coming here to talk about what it takes to overcome all the challenges and what the really meaning of luxury is, which is life.
Sean, how are you, my friend? All good?
I'm doing well. I think I'm going to have the world's most boring background right now because we're turning my wife's house in Puerto Rico into an Airbnb, and all we have are white walls right now.
Well, listen, it's going to get exciting as it goes through. So congratulations on that. How are things in Puerto Rico?
Thank you. Much better than they are in Colorado. There's no snow down here, and that white stuff is the beach. It's sand. It's not the other stuff that falls from the sky.
That's good. That's good. It makes it a little bit better to go outside. So, well,
absolutely.
Thank you for joining us today and for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm super excited. Thank you.
No, of course. And, we usually do these conversations with different individuals from luxury lifestyle industry related, such as luxury homes, private jets, yachts. And we always bring the definition of what luxury is and the inspirational backgrounds of these successful entrepreneurs. But in your case, I was really impressed with your background, and I think your story is so touching. And you have so many things to share with the world because you have become really an international inspiration with all the obstacles that you've overcome as a 2-time cancer survivor, climbing the Everest and doing such incredible things that I believe that for many that are today listening, it's going to be a life-changing experience. So tell us a little bit about you and what's your story?
Oh, absolutely. It'd be a pleasure. So super quick, I know we don't have too much time, but my life kind of took a different turn when I was 13. I was eventually diagnosed with advanced stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And as an 8th grader, the doctors actually told my parents that, hey, your firstborn son only has 3 months to live. So I think with that, absolutely, with that first cancer, it really changed my perspective on life. And as opposed to being worried about what I thought at the time was petty things that 8th graders and freshmen in high school are worried about, I was literally fighting for my life. So I developed a different perspective at such a young age. And then I went through about a year of chemotherapy. I was in remission for about a year as well. And then going in for a checkup for the first cancer, they found a second cancer. And this time around, they diagnosed me with a type of disease that affects 3 out of a million people with a prognosis of 6%. And the chances of me surviving both Hodgkin's and Aspin sarcoma is equivalent to winning the lottery 4 times in a row with the same numbers.
Wow.
And as a 16-year-old, they told my parents, your firstborn son now has 14 days to live.
That's wow. Cannot even imagine the situation.
It was devastating for myself and the family because I don't know if you know anyone who's ever had cancer before, but it's not an individual disease, and it really makes you appreciate life. And I think that's being generous. Just because there's so many different things that I look at, and I realize how fortunate I am to be alive. I was in a medically induced coma for a year of my life. I was read my last rites, and I only have 1 functioning lung.
So how do you face this situation? Because obviously at that early age in life, with your parents also and your family, everybody's surrounded by this situation that is definitely not common. And it puts you in a position where either you give up or you start looking at things differently. How did you really change your mindset to say, I'm going to come through this, we're going to make it happen, and let's, enjoy life? I mean, really see it with a different perspective.
Right. I honestly, I think it was one moment when I was 13 and I was 60 pounds overweight because of the medicine, the chemotherapy and everything. And I was on my hands and knees, bald from head to toe, weeping in the shower, just pulling chunks of hair out of the drain so the water could go down. And I think it was in that same moment that I realized I had two choices. I could either fight for my life or give up and die. And the second one wasn't an option. But it was also in that same moment, I think, when I realized that I didn't want to look at it as though I didn't want to die. I wanted to fight for my life. And I think looking back at it, if I would have seen it from a different angle of, oh, I don't want to die, things would have turned out incredibly differently, as opposed to focusing on what I wanted to happen and not the avoidance of what I didn't want to happen. You know, when people are, for example, when people are making money, they don't have the thought in their mind, oh, I don't want to lose money. They want to make money. Same thing when you're fighting for your life. You know, you don't want to think about, oh, I don't want to die. I want to focus on fighting and living. And I think that was the difference.
No, I love it. I think that's very right on point and such a great inspiration, because a lot of people are currently facing little things compared to what you had to go through, you know, and they easily give up just because, well, if I give up, it's okay. There might be other things. If you give up at that point, you die. So you cannot give up. So you said you had two choices. I fight for my life or I give up and die. So I find that situation something that is very encouraging for everybody to start looking at things with that mentality of like, okay, I have two options. The second one is not an option, so I'm just going to make it happen. And that's really an inspiration. So I usually ask the question, one option, I like it. I usually ask the question about what really luxury means for people, you know, just because luxury is a word that has been overused and it has a different meaning for so many people. But in your case, what is really luxury?
Great question. I honestly think that luxury for me is having the opportunity to wake up every morning. So many people take that for granted. I think it's as simple as that. There were nights, honestly, I went to bed not knowing if I was going to wake up the next morning. Literally not knowing if I was going to wake up. You know, and that's absolutely terrifying. So I think for me, luxury is learning how to transform tragedy into triumph and always seeing the opportunities as opposed to the obstacles. So when I was going through my treatments, I really understood a little bit differently that it was a situation I was in where I had an opportunity to appreciate the little things.
Now, with what we're facing, right, I think more people are realizing how important it is to be self-conscious about the personal development, wellness. So what are some ways that you will think are going to be great ways to promote this?
Excuse me. Honestly, I think the best way to promote what anyone wants is to understand what you value most. And what you value most revolves around what I call your personal core values.
Absolutely. No, those are great points. And I believe that also sharing your story is a way of inspiring so many people's lives. I know you came up now with a documentary that really narrows your story. So what is that about?
Well, it's called True North, the Sean Swarner story. It's about my expedition to the North Pole, where the production company somehow managed to make 80 below look tolerable and beautiful at the same time, which is a miracle in itself. But it's a journey to complete what's known as the Explorer's Grand Slam, which is Mount Everest, the highest mountain on every continent. That's called the Seven Summits, and then finishing with the North and South Poles. And I'm the first cancer survivor to do that, and it's a really, really compelling film about adventure, not necessarily cancer, but about reaching your destination and knowing what your true north is.
Wow. I mean, I encourage everybody that is tuning in today to please take a look at what he's been doing. I mean, Sean, you're amazing. I believe that with your story, you're inspiring so many people's lives. Just because sometimes, you know, we complain about the little things that are happening in our daily basis, and then we look at somebody like you and your story, which not only overcame a moment of death, but twice you had to face this cancer situation, and not only you survived it, but you took it as an opportunity to thrive through, empower yourself, and inspire other people in the journey. Because trust me, I'm training for an Ironman myself, and for those that are not too familiar with the Ironman, it's a hell of a challenge. You know? with the swimming, biking, running, and I'm doing it. Actually, I was supposed to be in Puerto Rico with you in
That's
March
right.
for the half Ironman, but they canceled it. And it's a challenge. And for you to do it in Hawaii, which is the toughest one, full Ironman, with the situation with the lungs, I mean, hats off. I mean, that by itself is amazing. So thank you for doing what you're doing. And I believe that nowadays, with the power of social media, reaching out people's lives, it has become easier and easier. So look, we connected through Clubhouse, another platform that really opens doors for communication and inspiration. So what would you recommend the people that are listening? I'm sure everybody has its unique story. We all go through our personal situations that might resonate more with one or another. So if somebody has a story that they would like to share that might inspire others, what will be your takeaway on how they can do it?
Just start. A lot of people are held back because of fear. And a lot of people don't move forward because they're afraid they're going to fail. Reach out to people, reach out to others. Like I reached out to you guys. You never know, because the answer is always no unless you ask. So just constantly put it out there, constantly ask people, constantly ask for feedback. And if you ask for the feedback, be open-minded about it, because you're trying to surround yourself by people who want to help elevate you, not pull you down. And I think that's one of the biggest keys, is to find people in your circle, your inner circle, to elevate you, not to pull you back.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. We already have too much negativity around. We need to surround
Exactly.
yourself with a strong inner circle that will push you through. And you will do the same, inspire others through the journey. So I think those are key points that really resonate with a lot of people tuning in today. And I don't know if you have any other takeaways or comments that you would like to share before we wrap this up.
I think, like I said, the biggest thing is personal core values. And I'm also an international keynote speaker. I've put together a couple online programs, author of a number of books. And if anyone reaches out and gets in touch with me, just Sean@cancerclimber.org. So it's org, not com. Sean@cancerclimber.org. I have no problems with sending all the information that I have to help others, because that's one of my, like I said, I think that's my life purpose. And there was a trip I was on, flying from Dallas to Hong Kong. And I sat next to a guy who was a multi-millionaire, amazing guy. And he was just so focused on money, so focused on money, so focused on money. And I asked him questions about, when was the last time you saw your kids? He said, well, I missed his first words. I missed him playing t-ball. I missed him walking. And when we got done, he, like I said, he had almost $1 billion. And he took that flight once every other week. But he missed his family. So at the end of it, I asked him a question. It's just a very simple question. Have you fulfilled your life's purpose? Are you still alive?
Wow. That makes you think. That makes you think and really do things a little bit differently. And even for people that have been so successful, they need to look at things with a different perspective, because life, the meaning of life, we need to ask ourselves that question sometimes. So, no, I do appreciate you sharing all these insights. I think it's an inspiration for all of us. Doesn't matter where we come from. So I encourage everybody that is watching or listening to please go and follow Sean. He's doing amazing. Watch out his documentary, True North. And if they have any questions, to please reach out to you as well. So I do appreciate your time, Sean. I look forward to seeing you soon. Maybe we can work out a little bit as well and get ready for our next Ironman. But thank you again.
My pleasure. Next time you'll have to keep up with me running a 4-minute sub-mile.
Oh my God, I didn't even know it. I could not believe it. For those listening or watching, he posted a story that it showed like a mile under 4 minutes. And I'm like, this guy is flying. And it's because you let it on when you were in the car.
Yeah, I forgot to turn my watch off driving back home.
Oh my God. I was going to tell you, I don't know, this is world record right there. So
Right.
Incredible. But anyway, Sean, thank you so much. I do appreciate your time. Say hi to your wife. Enjoy the renovations for the house in the Puerto Rico Airbnb. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Appreciate it very much. Very grateful.
All right, Sean. Bye.